The Billikens did it. They make history, the first ever win for the St. Louis Billikens at VCU's new home a decade ago. The Siegel Center, they were 0-10 coming into this game, but the 11th try is the magical one for the Billikens. They hold off a late run against VCU, and they get undoubtedly the biggest win for this program, not just in this year, but in the last 5 to 7 years of this program. Tonight, the biggest win for the Billikens in a long time. It's a massive one. I'm Matthew Rocchio. That's Eric Sontag. We are presented here on the Billikens Central Postgame by our good friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, where the crown is yours. And of course, our presenting sponsor here on HomeBank. We'll tell you more about our friends at HomeBank. Before we do, Eric, your opening thoughts on a huge, monumental win for the Billikens.
Oh, man, I've had this game circled on my calendar for a long time. Not only the top two teams in the A-10 preseason poll, but you mentioned it. I've been so damn tired of the Billikens losing in this freaking building over the years. And as we wrapped up the non-conference, this game became even bigger because it really became apparent this is potentially going to be SLU's only quad one opportunity of the entire season. And like the Billikens, they didn't have to win this game. But like, my God, it'd be super helpful to their chances for the NCAA tournament if they do win it. And what became apparent to me early on, the Billikens were ready to do what it takes from a toughness perspective to win this game. Their compete level was off the charts. The defense was fantastic. Kellen Thames, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about him. I thought he really just personified that this team was ready to finally win a game in this building. And then for them to take VCU's best punch, give up the lead, and then have the toughness to come back and finish the game on a 10-0 run. Just incredible. And now it's all in front of the Billikens. They have this quad one win on their resume. You know, this should really propel them forward. They got to be considered the favorite to win the league. Very, very good chance to make the NCAA tournament. So just Billiken fans got to be absolutely ecstatic with what they saw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just the final 2 minutes there. I mean, I usually don't do this, but I kind of just want to run through everything that happened there. The VCU takes a 62-61 lead. And again, we'll change the title here so you guys can see what the final score was because it's material here. VCU goes up 62-61 on a driving layup from Ahmed Noel. Next time down, we get the completely just out of nowhere pull-up three-pointer for Amari McCautry that should never work, shouldn't have worked in the moment, should never be the way they go, but nonetheless, it happens in that moment. We get a 30-second timeout called by SLU after that make. That might be one of the best timeout calls we've ever seen from Josh Schertz. Also had an incredible challenge call as well. VCU comes down, misses a pull-up three on their end, rebound from Kellen Thames. They get down the court the other way. Amari McCautry drops one off for Robbie Avila. Just like that, the Billikens are back up 4 points. Another missed jumper by VCU on the other side. Great defense. Brady Dunlap rips that one down, and then he goes and then he gets fouled for a 1-and-1. He hits both of those free throws just like that. The Billikens are up 6 points, and it only took them about 60 seconds to get there. Then down on the other way, we have a missed three-pointer from VCU. SLU gets a three-pointer blocked. Good block there by Barry Evans. He had a nice little game for VCU. VCU then misses another three-pointer. Billikens pull a little switch. They put in Paul Altieno, pull out Robbie Avila. They make their free throws after the fouls on Kellen Thames following his rebound. And at that point, the game was over. Just an unbelievable run there for the Billikens in the last couple of minutes. Didn't know if they had it in them. But nonetheless, they go down one and immediately they turn it around, partially because they get a shot they shouldn't really have gotten. But nonetheless, they got there, and that's all that matters.
Man, yeah, Amari, as soon as that was the ultimate no, yes type of shot. But I will say, like, at least he was in rhythm, and he looked confident going up to shoot it. But he had only 6 threes all season long coming into the game. And he hits 2 tonight, 2 out of 3. And it's like it's
an ugly shot.
Yes.
If you watch it, if you have time to watch it, the ball doesn't rotate when Amari McCautry shoots the ball. It does not make a full rotation. And if you've ever seen shooters, guys who shoot like that don't make a lot of shots. So it's just absolutely insane that that's the shot that bails them out in this moment.
Yeah, and just, it's basketball is a confidence game, and he was feeling it in that moment, but absolutely that is not the shot that you want. But then, coming back, him getting the assist with Robbie rolling to the bucket, to put SLU up 4, make it a 2-possession game. That is the kind of possession you want to see. And we saw a lot of big instances tonight. I mean, I got a whole list of them that I'll kind of go through as the show goes on, but I call them these silencer plays where the Billikens just did not let the VCU team and their crowd get going. There was a lot of moments where the crowd really started to try to make an impact, and then SLU would just have a really good offensive possession, shut them up, and then just continue to, to play their game. And so that was some big moments because we've seen plenty of other Billiken teams in the past really shrink in the moment in this building.
All right, let's take care of some business because we're talking about it right now. So let's go ahead and tell you all about our good friends at Home Bank. This Billikens Central postgame is presented to you by our banking partners at Home Bank. From business lending to everyday banking, Home Bank has been with us since day one as a trusted partner. Business isn't just about numbers, guys. It's about relationships, and that relationship was paramount to us when we started STL Sports Central. And with Home Bank, the relationship makes all the difference. Home Bank is the team behind our team here at STL Sports Central. Visit myhomebank.bank or call 855-577-2001. That's Home Bank, member FDIC, more than a bank. And of course, they present to us our money moment of the game. And I think for a while there, it was just going to be pick one of 7 Kellen Thames moments. But just considering how it goes, I think we have to go with the very unlikely 3-pointer made by Amari McCautry as our money moment of the game. Of course, again, brought to you by our friends at Home Bank. Check them out right now at myhomebank.bank or give them a call, 855-577-2001. You were heard Eric Sontag point to just all of the things we have to talk about, but let's get to our chat a little bit here. SJ Show Live says, what a win. SLU showed a lot of heart tonight. Yes, they did indeed. Rick Majerus' towel says, F that stupid cafeteria-looking gym. Give Josh Schertz whatever he wants. And Jeremy Hodge says, it was a great game. And for some reason, there's a White Sox and Northwestern fan in our chat, and I'm not going to give him the time of day. Lots of big moments, Eric. What do we talk about kind of first here? Is it the Billikens defense? Is it Thames' first half? Is it the best game of Paulo Tieno in a Bills jersey? A lot of ways to go.
Yeah, I was thinking for my money moment, obviously the Amari sticking that 3 has got to be it. But kind of the runner-up, one that I had kind of in mind, assuming the Billikens were going to hold on to that lead. But in the second half, Barry Evans had that poster dunk over Deion Brown and cut the lead to 6.
Yep.
And the crowd was going nuts at that point. But then you just mentioned him, Paulo Tieno. He answered with the dunk of his own on the other end to put the lead back up to 8. So you answer a dunk with a dunk of your own. That gets you fired up. And then about a minute later, that was the moment, with the signature moment for Kellen Thames. He bullies Evans in the lane, gets an and one on him. Then he hits him with the flex, hits the free throw. And then the Billikens, at that point, they're up by 13. That was their biggest lead in the game up to that point. And just that to me was the moment I thought, okay, we got this team right now. That this is the team that has the toughness required to beat this team. I've been saying this for weeks now. This team clearly has the skill to win this league, but tonight they proved it to me and to everyone out there that they have the toughness to win the A-10 this season.
When the Rams take that 62-61 win, and you're talking about, do they have it? What was going through your mind?
Oh my God. Like I was thinking, well, this is exactly what I expected, because I've just been scarred by so many of these games over the years. There's been some blowouts, but there's been some really painful ones as well. And we saw it, in the Stanford loss. That was a game that got away, and this was starting to feel like one that got away. And really, up until that moment that Amari stuck that 3, I expected it to go badly. But when he hits that shot, again, process, bad, result, good. But just the Billikens, like I said, these silencer plays they kept having. And that was the main one that really, VCU, obviously, they didn't score after that. So that kind of personified the game right there with SLU's defense and with their clutch plays.
I will take your silencer plays and I will raise you a new metric called kill shots.
Oh,
now what this measures, a kill shot is a 10-0 run. That's what a kill shot is. So the Billikens, as Evan Miyakawa, who does an incredible job with statistics, as I'm making this just a little bit bigger for everybody, St. Louis's average is over 1.5 kill shots per game and has only conceded a single 10-0 run all year. They're currently in 38th at evanmio.com. He has a lot of great stats there. Again, a kill shot is a 10-0 run. How'd this game end, Eric Sontag? A kill shot to the temple of VCU. An unbelievable job by the Billikens. But to this point, this is what they do. At least 1.5 times, averaging out per game. They're going to go on a 10-0 run. It just happened to be the most well-timed 10-0 run I think I've ever seen.
The ultimate kill shot for you there to really, stick the knife in the eye of VCU. But I have the other one. They had at least one other 10-0 run because that was one of the silencer plays that I had. First half, VCU was on a 7-0 run, tied up the game at 19. Crowd's into it, on their feet. And then there was a really great passing sequence from Dunlap to Thames to Brown for a layup. It was beautiful basketball, maybe SLU's best offensive possession of the first half. And that gave the Billikens a 21-19 lead. They go on an 11-0 run to pull ahead 30-19. And just they did not trail all night up until that last 2.5 minutes to go. But that was another one that, the silencer play where they take a shot from VCU and they punch right back. I just love to see it.
I mean, it's just in that moment. And honestly, the broadcast didn't have a lot of good moments, but credit to the color man who did say at that moment, we're about to find out what this team has in the half court. And to see Amari McCautry come up with that big play in the half court, he had so many, I called him spastic. Just he's rushing. Everyone wants him to slow down. The Billikens coaches want him to slow down. For him to have that moment, and again, him hitting the three is kind of crazy. You don't really want to see him go to that. But to him being a ball handler and hitting a pocket pass to Robbie in that moment, that's exactly what we need to see from Amari McCautry in a clutch moment like that. And for him to go to that as a sophomore, who apparently, according to the broadcast, just turned 21. I don't know if that's even true or possible. An incredible play for him.
There was one moment from Amari early in the first half. I want to make sure we talk plenty about Thames because I feel like I'm going on about it.
The first
Amari.
half was incredible.
Yes, I want to mention this play about Amari first, and then before we move on to Thames, because this is something that I noticed. I took a note of. It was the last play before the under 16 timeout in the first half, and this was Evans had the ball in the post, and Robbie was playing good defense, making it hard on him. And Amari came in there, swiped at the ball, loose ball on the floor. He dove after it. He got absolutely drilled. It looked like he almost took a knee to the face. No call, but the ball went out of bounds off VCU, turnover for the Rams. And I thought that was a really good sign that the Billikens were ready to do what it takes from a toughness perspective to win the game. And that was it was a winning play. And I thought that really set the tone going to the first time out of the game that these guys were in the fight and they were ready for it.
Kellen Thames' first half. I have it written down. Talk about Kellen Thames' first half. Well, in 10 minutes, he had 8 points on 4 of 5 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And you're thinking, wow, that's an incredible first half. There's no way he matches that or outdoes himself. In the second half, Kellen Thames has 10 points on 3 of 5 from the field. He goes 4 of 5 from the charity stripe. He pulls down 4 rebounds, including an offensive rebound, has an assist as well. 22 minutes overall for Kellen Thames. He finishes with 18 points on 7 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from the charity stripe, a double-double with 10 points, and also 3 assists to go along with his 1 steal. An absolutely incredible Kellen Thames game. Oh, by the way, again, he did that in 22 minutes off the bench against a quad 1 opponent. That is simply ridiculous.
Yep. And also Kellen Thames, 0 turnovers. I know he's not primarily a ball handler for the most part, but 0 turnovers I thought stood out because, with VCU, when you think about over the years, they get after your ass defensively where they're turning you over and they're grabbing all these offensive rebounds. And Thames was, personified taking care of the basketball tonight. SLU did a pretty good job protecting the ball, only 12 turnovers. They tie VCU in that category. But then, you always look for these games. SLU's up 8 points at the half. And VCU is going to come out, at least you think VCU is going to come out strong in the second half. Very first possession of the second half, Kellen Thames comes out and just grabs an offensive rebound by skying over everybody else, kicks it out to Quentin Jones for a 3. He drills it, and SLU goes up 11, and you're off and running there, and you're feeling good going into the second half. That was another kind of set the tone play, and Kellen Thames was right in the middle of all of it.
And you had to feel good at the half. I kept pointing this out. They were up by what they led it by half at
8.
By 8 at half, and Robbie at that point and had scored 0. And Ashan Sharma, by the way, finishes this game scoring 0. And Ashan Sharma, great job by Stu Durando pointing this out in one of his pieces earlier this week on Stu on Slew. Subscribe if you haven't already. He's fantastic. Ashan Sharma is tied with Robbie Avila for plus or minus this season. So Ashan Sharma has been a game changer for the Billikens when he's been on the court today. He was negative today. Him and Otieno were the only Billikens who were negative, but the floor game from Amari Makata, from Ishan Sharma, I should say, pulls down 2 rebounds, gets 2 steals in 20 minutes of play. He helped spread the floor. He was talking about on Monday how he needs to learn how to weaponize his gravity. And when we use the word gravity in this case, when you're a 3-point shooter like Ashan Sharma, who essentially, if he gets his shoulders squared, he doesn't care. I also talked to him about this. He doesn't care how fast he's running or how tricky the shot is or where his body is. If he squares his shoulders, he's confident in taking that shot. So when you have a guy who's that kind of shooter, the gravity means that if he rises from the corner, he's going to take a player with him, and that's going to open up maybe the baseline. If he cuts through the middle into the other corner, that's going to move people, or that's going to cause a switch. Those kind of things are gravity. And so even though Ishan Sharma isn't scoring in this game, he used his gravity. He had a good floor game, and that's why even with 2 of your most impactful players already in your incredible start in Ishan Sharma and Robbie Avila, the fact that they were 2 of the least impactful players for the majority of this game, and you win and you handle the game for a lot of that time, it's another example of us not being able to put a ceiling on what this Billikens team is yet, because we still have not seen them run 100% efficiently. And if they do, they're going to blow out a good team by 30 points. That's how good this team can be. I legitimately believe that.
Yeah, and another reason I love this team is they have so many guys that impact winning if they don't have their best stuff. They still find ways, like you're talking about there with Sharma, to find a way to make an impact. You know, this team, the story of the season has been guys sacrificing their individual goals for the potential of this team. And we're seeing it right now, 14-1, up in KenPom now to number 34, I see. So they jump up 5 spots with that win. Excited to see the net tomorrow. They were 29 heading into the game. So I got to think they're going to be creeping up into the mid-20s tomorrow. But just this team plays beautiful basketball.
Yeah, if they take care of business at LaSalle, they will be in the top 25 when the new one comes out. Like I think worst case scenario, they're 25th. I think they should get up to 23. Obviously, if people lose, this all changes and things like that. But that's where I think it should be. A couple comments here. Eggplant emoji. I know Mizzou's postgame is coming up, but you think SLU and Mizzou can go to the big dance? My prediction a couple weeks ago was I didn't think Mizzou would have it, but obviously a win over Florida, beating Kentucky tonight. By the way, that's why I did a big fist pump early in the show. It's because Mizzou did close one out against Kentucky, despite the fact that Kentucky was favored by 12.5 points tonight. The Mizzou postgame will come up immediately on the heels of this postgame. Me and Eric got just a couple more minutes, but I mean, they'll talk about it as well in that postgame. Kareem Rush, the former Mizzou sharpshooter, Grant Salzman, coming up with that post-game show. Speaking of Grant Salzman, he says, "Hi, my name is Grant Salzman, and I love Josh Schertz." His name is Grant Salzman, and he thought before the season started that SLU would lose to Missouri. And I think he's eating those words now because they are running great. Unfortunately, not a matchup that we're ever going to be able to bet on, Eric Sontag, but nonetheless, a lot of fun still to be had with our friends over at DraftKings, where we use the promo code STL Sports. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official betting partner of the NFL, guys. And of course, with the way that football's lining up starting tomorrow with the college and the NFL, every playoff moment is going to feel bigger. Right now, I'm rolling with the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and those boys have something going. I usually don't root for Vianney kids, but I've decided to go full St. Louis. Let's go with the Jaguars in their matchup. I think whatever you want to take the money line, take the points. Either way, I think the Jaguars are cruising by at least 10 points in their playoff matchup. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If that doesn't go very well, if a player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. So build a prop around Trevor Lawrence. No worries if he gets knocked out. For you, obviously Jacksonville would be in a lot of trouble at that point. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports right there on your screen to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins, in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or call ccbg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, call dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Schedule's a lot of fun for all the fans out there, but unfortunately means we do not have much more time to talk about the Billikens because Missouri Tigers pulled out a huge win. I could talk about this game for hours. A massive win for the Billikens, their first ever in Siegel Center. They are now 1-10. Your final thoughts on the biggest win, again, for me, for the Billikens in at least the last 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that the Billikens would have shot 43% from the field, 30% from three, 69% from the free throw line, I thought they would have got their asses kicked. But the defense brought it home tonight. They hold VCU to 0.84 points per possession. Josh Schertz has said if you hold a team to under 0.9, you're going to win almost every time. And they get it done tonight with the defense. Love to see it. Billikens are the best team in the A-10. It's all in front of them. It's marching forward to a conference tournament or a conference regular season title, maybe a conference tournament title, and a bid to the NCAA tournament. I got to think. Feeling really good about the chance to be hanging a banner at Chaffetz at the beginning of next season.
They're doing everything they can. Obviously, that one shot in Stanford's a little crappy, but you get your Q1 win and you keep on rolling. You got a couple Q2s coming up in conference as well, including potentially a home matchup against VCU. That'll be a Q1 for VCU. It'll be a Q1 for SLU. They win that one, they can continue to keep on rolling through the A-10. A big A-10 matchup against LaSalle this week, and if they win that, they are a top 25 basketball team. A massive win for the Billikens. Of course, Michael Etter in the chat, he agrees it's a great night to be a Billiken. It is, and it's a great night here on STL Sports Central. We've got more coming up for you here. The Billikens win at VCU, tally their first Q1 win, their first ever win in the Siegel Center, 71-62. The Missouri Tigers came up with an incredible comeback victory against Kentucky in Lexington, while they were giving up 12 and while they were getting 12 and a half points. A massive win for the Billikens. We will now pass you off to Grant Salzman and Missouri sharpshooter Kareem Rush. Stay tuned right here on the YouTube channel for STL Sports Central. Exit out of this video, just refresh the page. They're going to be live talking Billikens basketball. 2 huge wins for the STL area teams. Billikens over VCU, Mizzou over Florida. For Eric Sontag, I'm Matthew Rocchio. For our wonderful sponsors, MyHomeBank.bank and DraftKings Sportsbook, where the crown is yours. We've got more coming up on the other side right here on STL Sports Central. Have a great day, St. Louis. And it should be. We're all winners here.